Good afternoon, welcome. Welcome. If we could take a moment, and George, you want to say a little prayer? Please go ahead.
We're thankful for you bringing us all safely here today. We ask for the wisdom to make the right decisions to take our state forward. We ask that you be with our veterans, our leaders, and that you be with us as we meet today and move forward in our lives. Take care of us, forgive us of our wrongs as we forgive each other and are kind to each other, as true West Virginians are. And we thank you for the blessings you've given us and ask you to keep us safe as we go our separate ways. Amen.
Amen. Please stand for the pledge. Keith Brotherton, will you lead us in the pledge?
Flag here.
Flag's right over here.
Can't stand.
That's okay, you can just lead us. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll have a class. I know. Okay, roll call. If you have a proxy, please say proxy.
Check.
You're gonna sit on this. You got it made.
All right.
Roll call. You ready?
Okay, I'm going to start with the officers. Chairman, Belinda Beafor,
Here.
Bill Laird,
In the training.
Kenny Perdue,
Here.
Bob Stoltz,
Here.
Elaine Harris,
Here.
Pat Maroney, Tom Vogel,
Here.
Tom Stolniker, Josh Stowers has a proxy, Azim Khan,
Here.
Kelly Palmer, Susan Hubbard, Jerry Brookover, Marvin Masters, he's counsel, and Kurt Tickfus,
President.
executive director. Now these are voting members. I may say some names twice, but that first group does not count as voting members. So voting members, Anna Gillespie has a proxy, Mercedes Sayer. Here. Young Democrats, Laura Walker has a proxy, Adam Strider.
Here.
At-large member, Nick Casey has a proxy, Tom Vogel. Karen Correa. Here. Steve White.
Here.
Roman Prezioso. Tim Miley. Yeah, they're in session. Donna Gianluco. Holly Smith. Here. Joe Jividan. Michael Trobert has a proxy. Teddy Grogan. Here. Kim Frum. Here. Susan Riley has a proxy. Geneva Horvat. Here. Lance Heasley has a proxy. Terry Tyler. Here. Arthur Sonny Oakland.
Here.
Sharon James. Judith Stevens.
Here.
Walt Ogle.
Present.
Jerry Brookover. Bonnie Fruth. Betty Totten. Here. Keith Brotherton.
Here.
Floyd Sayer.
Here.
Lacey Connolly has a proxy. Nancy Epling. She was here.
Yeah, she's here.
Okay. All right. Tammy Pritt. Austin Sanders.
Here.
Dale Stevens. Anita Gaines Caldwell has a proxy. Deborah McCarthy.
Here.
Bridget Markham Puckett. Robert Ofsa.
Here.
Charles Sammons. Amy Stowers. Here. Sue Ann Zickafus. Michael Connolly. Gary McAllister.
Here.
Virginia Jenny Moles.
Here.
Denise Tucker has a proxy, Pam Van Horn. Here. Harvey Payton has a proxy, Ben Barkey.
The proxy.
Okay, yes. All right, and then there's a vacancy. Elisa Moy. Linda Good Phillips. Delegate Mick Bates. And Mike Good. Debbie Bush. Here. Debbie Phillips. Michael? Okay. Jeff Campbell. I'll just say Debbie Phillips, how about that? Shirley Love. Margaret Beckwith has a proxy, Carol Kane Bush. Here. Andrea Hayes. Here. Tom Blankenship. Frank Bush Jr.
Here.
Susan Miley has a proxy, Bob Stoltz. Robin Stoltz. Here. Ron Fergale.
Here.
Joshua Porto. Belinda Viafor.
Here.
Kelly Palmer. Mike Caputo has a proxy, Shane Asadzandi.
Here.
Alan Kisner.
Here.
Rita McCroby. Joyce Wilson. Here. Nimrod Riley.
Here.
Mike Withers.
Here.
Jill Burkhart. Here. Mary Kay Staggers. Here. William Gill Newton. David Webb.
Here.
Cheryl Lawrence has a proxy, H.S. Lee Coons.
Here.
Virginia Sign. Rod Snyder.
Here.
Sorry. Boy, I couldn't even cover that one because everybody knows who Rod is. Sorry about that.
I've been called worse.
Okay.
That's true.
John Unger has a proxy, Marguerite Rockwell.
Actually, that's backwards. It's Virginia sign that I'm a proxy for.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I will change that. And here. And here. All right. Bonnie Brown. Patty Hamilton. Here. Booth Goodwin. And Richie Robb has a proxy, Ty Robb. Okay, I'll do the account too.
So, I think we have some secretary's reports going around. These are the amended one that we did in Eastern Panhandle, or the other one is from the meeting at the RK. So if you'll take a few minutes to review the secretary's report, I will entertain a motion.
Did we get that? I didn't get that. It's coming.
Right there.
Sorry, I'm slow.
How many?
Oh, that's right.
We're recounting.
The cat teacher over here, he thinks it's
Okay.
one more. So, as I said, I couldn't be more pleased with the room. We got a smaller room because our attendance hasn't been that great. Plus, it was the only one left after the training. So, who all went to the training today? Who all learned something from the training today? Who all wants us to continue to do these kind of trainings? Good. Now, this won't be the only one. This will probably be the only training of this. Yep. That's for.
We need one more set.
We need a set back here in this room.
We need 2 more sets.
We may have to go make a cup of coffee. If somebody wants to share, we can do that.
Who needs one? Anybody?
Who needed a copy?
Does she want it?
Got it, Debbie needs one.
We'll need.
Anyway, we intend on doing more types of training, whether it's van, whether it's regional. If there's something that you want to see that we need to expand on, please speak up. So I will entertain a motion to accept the secretary's report as dispersed.
So moved.
Who said that? Who said so moved? Nimrod said. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Our finance gal had to leave, but we have a treasurer's report here. We have $41,420 cash on hand. $28,454 of that is federal. $12,965 is state. We have pending income for the month we have not received yet, $10,000 from our Victory grant, and JFK dues runs about $1,000 a month. Now, before everybody goes, we're in pretty good shape. We have just started our fundraising, so as you know, thanks to the Republicans, you can all give us $2,800 now. So step right up. Anyway, we have started fundraising. It's a little tough to do during the session and with candidates, but our numbers will look a lot better. In addition to that, we have written another grant and submitted it to the DNC. I have talked to a gentleman that's working with the Bloomberg campaign. And so Bloomberg has said, win, lose, draw, whatever, that he's got a couple of PACs with a lot of money in them. And I think we can make a pretty good case for West Virginia that if those PACs, and he really means what he says, can float some money into West Virginia, because, as I have said many, many times, it takes less money to get our legislature flipped in West Virginia than it does to elect the mayor in Atlanta, Georgia. So we are working on some outside folks that are going to help us. We've got a former chair from the state of Wisconsin who approached me at one of the meetings, said we want to help West Virginia. We've got some services that we can offer. We've got some folks that want to give money for this project. And what that does is, in these states that struggle with donations and struggle with coming up with enough money for staff, this group, I forget what they're called, Martha Lanning is heading them up. But she has sponsors that will pay, and if there is a digital person that maybe we can't afford full-time, they, as this group, will offer us some advice and some help and make those things happen for us. If there's some band training or some, now this is all after the primary, after we get a nominee, if there's some turf that needs cut, if, just something that we necessarily don't need a full-time person for, but oftentimes we just need some help to pick up some slack when we're all busy. This group will do that for us, and as I said, she's busy raising money on our behalf to make that happen. So I thought that was a pretty good idea. It worked in a couple other states last go around, so we're just trying to be out there and talking and telling our friends that, hey, West Virginia is just as important, and we need help, and we can flip seats, and we can take back this legislature and go at it. So if I could entertain a motion to accept the treasurer's report to be filed for audit.
So moved.
We have a first, Judy Stevens, second. All in favor?
I didn't see who the motion was, I'm sorry.
Tom?
We never got that back,
You never got what?
the treasurer's report.
Okay. We have, I don't know if we have enough, but we can share it. This is the first time that we have come together since Larry Puccio has resigned. I apologized earlier in the meeting that I wasn't as quick with the announcement, but that's all behind us now. He has resigned, he is gone. Larry said he still remains a Democrat, he still contributes to our JFK, he still wants Democrats to succeed, but Jim Justice is his friend and his boss. But with that said, our bylaws say that his seat belongs to a past state chairman. So that is why he was holding the seat. When he resigned, according to our bylaws, it immediately goes back to former chair before him, which was Nick Casey. I talked to Nick, he is willing to accept that, and so that vacancy has been filled. However, there are a few other vacancies. Our parliamentarian, Jim Casey, passed away. Many of you knew Jim. We've had someone that stepped up that's interested, but I need to entertain a motion to accept that name, and if there's any other names that you want to bring before the body as parliamentarian, we will certainly entertain those names, and if there's more than one, we will have a vote. So, I open up the floor.
What's her name?
Well, the young lady's name that approached us is Cameron Miller. She's an attorney here in Charleston, young African-American that wants to get involved in politics, wants to run for office, and wants to get to know the great workers,
I'll nominate her.
the great workers in the Democratic Party. Tom Vogel has nominated Cameron Miller. Debbie Phillips has seconded. Are there any other nominations? Any other nominations?
I'd like to nominate Tina Gray Russell from Mercer County, veteran, African-American, 3rd District, female, for parliamentary.
Parliamentary?
Candidate
Okay.
for House of Delegates.
Candidate for House of Delegates.
So is there,
I'm sorry, did you say Tina, is it Gray or Ray?
Gray.
Gray.
All right, thank you.
is there a
Russell.
second?
I second.
So,
Deb McCarthy.
Thank you, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
So, we'll try this with the voice vote. If that doesn't work, we'll try something else. So, all those in favor of Cameron Miller, I'm sorry, Walt.
I'm sorry, I apologize, I must have blanked out. What is the office, or what is?
Parliamentary.
Okay,
We're
thank you.
replacing Jim Casey, who
Okay,
passed away.
I just
And it's a non-voting
lost
position.
track.
It is a non-voting position, but
Sorry.
it's in our bylaws. So, any other nominations? Any other nominations? I'll take a motion to close the nominations. Second. Stoltz. Seconded by Debbie Phillips. All those in favor of Cameron Miller signify by saying aye. Aye. All those in favor of Tina Russell signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I believe that Cameron Miller has the votes. If anybody wants a roll call or sees otherwise, please speak now. All right. We also have an associate chair's position. We have 2 associate chairs. One was held by Bob Stoltz. He was elected, and he kind of oversees the chair of the county chairs. This is something that Truman Chafin held for years. He gave it up. Bob was gracious enough to take it over. So any county chairs that need wisdom and questions answered, you should be talking to Bob. We need a female to go in that position, and a lady by the name of Ivan Lee has expressed interest in that position. Jenny?
I would like to make a motion to formally nominate Ivan Lee for this position.
Jenny was one of the ones that suggested Ivan. Ivan was very, Karen Corey seconds, was very instrumental. If y'all went to the women's conference in Campbell County, she did a great job. I think Ohio County has invited her up. So, good move. Any other nominations?
What's this position?
It's an associate chair's position. It has to be a female. Any other nominations? Any other nominations?
I move the nominations be closed.
Nominations have been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Jenny, you can let Ivan know.
Wait a minute, you just closed, you have to vote on it.
I'm sorry, and I didn't get the
Sorry, all
second,
those-
and I didn't get the second on the close.
Debbie?
And no, she made the motion.
Right here.
Oh, Tom.
That's okay. I'm sorry. So, all those in favor of Ivan Lee signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Now, Jenny, you can let Ivan know. She owes you big time. She owes you big time. On Monday, we kicked off the celebration of the 100th anniversary of the women's right to vote. So finally, guys, we caught up with you, as we should have more than 100 years ago, because we are what, 51% of the population, 56% of the voting, or more, and so we appreciate the fact that we finally got it. So it was brought to my attention by the Democratic women that we have 3 congressional vice chairs, and they're all men, and they're all whining, and they're all crying because they have so much work to do. And I said, well, we have a way to remedy that. Because if we put some women in those positions, I'll bet you anything will get some work done. These, again, are non-voting positions. Can't vote, so we're not taking any power away from the committee whatsoever. But it will help, I believe, strengthen this body It will add more actual physical people to this that can be out there working and making things happen. Now, this one is a little more trickier. Trickier? Is that a word?
Not more tricky.
A little more tricky.
Just trickier.
So, our bylaws do not have that in them, that we have congressional men and congressional women. We can remedy that here today if we have 2/3 of this body that agrees to suspend the rules and vote to make this happen today. So, I will entertain a motion, if you're so interested, to suspend the rules.
I make that motion.
I'll
Judy
second.
Stevens, Betty Totten, second.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
My question is, are we adding the 3 women to the
Yes.
3 men?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Because what happened was no women stepped up to run. We can't control that. Yeah, right. So now, it will be just like everybody that's in here, male, female, what have you.
So right now, what do the bylaws actually say?
The bylaws say that there's 3 congressional vice presidents.
And now we want to add 3 more?
So now we want to change that language to say there are 6
Okay.
congressional vice presidents, 1 per congressional district, 1 male, 1 female.
Okay.
So that we don't run into that problem again, because
Right.
all those ladies are scared to step up and run. So
Right.
we'll make it easier for you. Again, non-voting positions. Okay? So, at this time, everyone in favor of suspending the rules to allow this to happen signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. More than 2/3 of this body has voted to suspend the rules. So at this time, I will entertain a motion. Robin, I know, you got your hand up back there. Robin is the past president of the Federation of Democratic Women. She's here on behalf of 3,000 women across the state. Their new president is Annie Gillespie, but we will open it up for nominations, and of course,
Excuse me. We only suspended rules. Now we need to have a motion to add the 3 additional people.
see why we need a parliamentarian?
Correct.
Before, Robin's just so excited.
Okay.
Before we vote or nominate, we have to vote to add 3 additional positions for females, change the language in the bylaws that say there will be 1 male, 1 female per congressional district vice president.
I'll make that
Vice
motion.
chair. Vice chair.
I'll make that motion.
Okay? Marguerite?
I'll second it.
Floyd's there? Attaway, Floyd, he got a ride home with Mercedes.
Yeah, that's right.
Women have an equal right. All those in favor of the change signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now, correct? At this time, Robin, you may go forth. And again, Robin has some suggestions. This body can add anyone after that. Go ahead, Robin.
Congressional District 1, Teddy Grogan. Congressional District 2, Pam Van Horn. And Congressional District 3, Tina Russell. And, you know, I've observed these women during the last 4 years as my presidency. And before that too, and they're very hard workers and they've been out there getting the work done. I think they'd be great.
Are there any other names that want to be put forth for these 3 positions? Robbie, did you?
Tina Russell.
Okay, Tina Russell.
Yeah,
So
I
would
know,
you
that's
like
what
to
they were
second-
asking.
Would you like to second?
I'll second that.
Robbie, you second the motion. Are there any other names to put forth? Debbie? What?
If there's no other names, I move that the nominations be closed and the nominees be elected by acclamation.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
If my brain gets to work.
So,
I'll-
2 of those young ladies are with us today. Teddy Grogan in the back of the room. Teddy's from the 1st in Ohio County. Teddy cracks the whip and makes Holly do whatever she says. And Pam Van Horn, and you all know Pam. She's been very helpful, very instrumental. We gave her kudos a little while ago as far as the messaging and keeping the senators on track. So, Pam, welcome to the committee. At this time, I think that's all the vacancies we have. At this time, before you is a resolution called SLAP. If anybody needs it read to them, we'll do it. If not, just kind of look through that. At our last meeting, we decided that we should pass a resolution not just for United Mine Workers Healthcare and Pensions, but also for anybody that has paid into a pension plan and the company goes bankrupt and tries to take it away. So if y'all want to take a few minutes to look over that, I am open to suggestions. Jenny, Elaine, Rob, anybody in here that has something to add or take away from what the resolution says. Yes, Floyd?
I am affected by this. The corporation, the foreign corporation that I work for filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy, turned my pension over to Pension Benefit Guaranty Corporation, dropped all the insurance. The bankruptcy court said that the 364 people at M&G Palmer's who was affected by this bankruptcy lost $44+ million. We didn't get 44 cents. And while we're on this subject, these corporations are doing this all the time. First, they're dropping the defined pension benefits and going with 401ks. Pension Benefit Guaranty Corporation is funded by the defined pension benefit plans. And when there are no more defined pension benefit plans, all of these pensions are going to go bankrupt, and there's going to be no payment from Pension Benefit Guaranty Corporation unless something is resolved. So we need to pass this, and it don't affect 99,000 coal miners. It affects hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people, including me. Now, I didn't lose a penny on my pension because Pension Benefit Guaranty seized the company's assets that was in our retirement, and it was almost 100% funded. Bought a 5-year annuity, so I didn't lose a penny on my pension, lost the insurance and all that. But after 5 years, that will run out in 2023, and if there's no money in Pension Benefit Guaranty Corporation, then I'm up the creek. So think about that.
Gary?
I'd like to make a motion to adopt the resolution.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion, Elaine?
I brought this up at the last meeting we had, and like Floyd was saying, with the PBGC, if there's not money going into it, then no money coming out, right? And that's a serious flaw. I do want to congratulate, and it's just a great thing that happened with our brothers and sisters in the United Mine Workers. And if you know the history of that, there was an avenue for funding and for monies there to take care of that. So, you know, it's great that that was taken care of, because we had people literally that were on the verge of death, not knowing whether they were going to be able to have their health care continued and their pensions. So it's a great thing, and Senator Manchin led the charge on that and basically told them, okay, we'll just hold up everything here till, you know, this happens. I too, I'm very concerned throughout the whole labor movement. We have a lot of companies, and they're filing daily. Our members are facing that possibly next month that work for Frontier. And it's rumored the new CEO has not met with our president of our international or the president of the international of the IBEW. He's new. The former CEO had promised to meet, but somehow he couldn't find his way from Connecticut over to DC, and then he stepped down. So we want, through this federal bill, what would happen, for those of you that weren't at the last meeting, it takes the employees and retirees who are down on the list, move them up to the top. Creditors and those vendors are at the top right now. The workers and the retirees, they're forgotten about. And so we, you know, hopefully with this resolution, us adopting it, and we're also going to put our legislature, we'll have a resolution for them. It's being worked on right now for them. And that's the old adage, whose side are you on, right? It shouldn't be Democrat, Republican. They all 100% ought to get on board and ought to vote for it. We will see. But I would ask the support for this resolution because it takes care of everybody, Floyd, that's affected. Thank you very much.
Chapter 11 bankruptcy, in my opinion, is nothing more than a way for wealthy individuals and large corporations to get out of their contractual and financial obligations. That's why Donald Trump has filed it over 5 times.
Any other discussion? Shane?
I have just a question about this. So this is a federal act. Do we know if at this moment there's any bipartisan support for it?
Not that I'm aware of, but we're hoping to change that. You know, with us adopting this resolution today, with the counties calling like you do best to your legislators, and I can check with Senator Manchin to see if he does have bipartisan. Elaine, you may know.
I ask the other senator who is on the other side is not.
Of course.
And she's up
So that's actually why I was asking. Is this an opportunity for us to add some language to this that would say, we call upon Senator like to add at the end of it, we call upon Senator Shelley Moore Capito to stand with her colleague and American workers to support this common sense.
Yay.
Yeah, I think it's a good.
Very good.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, I will move to add the following language to the end of the last paragraph that says, we also call on Senator Shelley Moore Capito to stand with her colleague and also stand with well, I guess we should say American workers.
I'll second.
Any other discussion?
What about our congressional people?
Oh, not a one. It's not even been introduced over there.
Would you accept a friendly amendment to add them to your?
Oh, yeah.
And will you write that down?
Yeah, I'll write it down.
So we have to vote on the amendment?
Not if everybody accepts it as a friend.
Everyone, except,
Anybody object?
does anybody object?
It's probably going to need to be worded that they would introduce because they've not done anything on the House side.
However, the committee.
Right.
You want to write it up for Kelly, and then what we'll do is, once we adopt this, we will update it, we'll email it out to all of you. That may be our test email. Shane, if you will do that for the secretary, and then we may want to make an additional whereas to encourage the congressional. Is that it, Pam? Or just
Yes,
amend
ma'am.
this?
Howard Shane thinks it's.
Howard Shane, okay. All those in favor of accepting this resolution with the amendment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So Gary, I think you need to go and spread the word among the labor that we're behind them, and I don't know what everybody says that the Republican or the Democrat Party left labor, but you can remind them every meeting we're doing something.
The Labor Council's already voted, this after the building trade is already.
Good. So a copy of this as the United Mindships one will be sent. Will be put on file, will be put on our website. I encourage each of you to do this at your county committee meetings. Number one, it will strengthen our message, and number two, it makes the counties think that they're involved and that they're actually playing a part in doing something. So I want to encourage that. Floyd?
I wrote an article on Chapter 11 bankruptcy, which was in the Charleston Gazette. I gave Senator Manchin a copy. I sent a copy to Shelley Moore Capito. Would it be appropriate to send her a copy of this and say that we passed it along with that, another copy of the letter that I wrote?
Absolutely. You'll provide that to us?
I'll do that.
Absolutely.
I'll do that.
Absolutely, and any other information. Absolutely. Okay, good. Next on our unfinished business, I just want to talk a little bit about the Adopted Voter Project. I think we've got some brochures here if y'all want to take a look at it. So far, I've been to, I haven't been to Ohio, but I've gotten the information to Teddy in Ohio County. I was at Lewis County last week for a training. I'm going to Pleasant County tomorrow, Marion County. I believe Mon County is going to adopt it. We talked about it at our regional meeting last week. Wetzel County has asked for the packets. Mason County, Marshall County, Jackson County. So any other counties that have adopted this program or needs information, please let us know so we can get those packets to you. And again, I want to thank our friends over in the Eastern Panhandle for initiating this project, showing us how it works, and making a difference. We talked a little bit, but we're going to talk a little more about county conventions. Every county has a convention on March 28th. We are compiling a list, and I know some of you have already heard this, but I'm going to say it again, of all the counties and where their convention is going to be, the time it's going to be, and the contact. If by March 15th, there is not a county that has a convention plan, please have them call the state party or you or someone so that we can get a form to them and make sure that they will be covered as a delegate to the national convention. Now, or to the state convention, I'm sorry. They have to be Democrats. You can't participate otherwise. And so we will make sure that those folks in those counties that do not have a delegate, no one is going to be denied. So just keep your ears open. That's information that you can get out. Every county has a chair, and every chair got a packet. So we'll see what happens. State conventions are June 12th. That's where the caucus will happen, and June 13th is the full convention day. National convention is in Milwaukee, July 13th through the 17th. One thing that we talked about at our last meeting was making sure we sent an email to all the candidates that had filed. That has happened. We have listed tools that the party can provide to them, from van, which they will have to pay for if it's a contested race, to other things that we can help them with. We'll be able to help with much more after May 12th, and we get our nominees, so another letter will go out at that time. But right now, they are aware that the party is thanking them for stepping up to run. We had a wonderful training today, which was part of what was offered to them. So we'll just keep doing everything we can for our candidates out there. So please let them know that we're here for them. The only thing we can't do is write them a $100,000 check. There are some candidates that have already asked, where's my money? So not going to do that. So, under new business at this time, we have a copy of our platform, which we don't have enough, we'll get more. It's also on our website, correct?
When's the national convention? Is it July 17th?
Something like that.
There's also a copy of our bylaws I'm going to pass around. Again, if we don't have enough, Brittany will take your name, we'll get them to you. I just wasn't sure how many we're going to be here. So make sure all the committee gets them first.
Thank you.
Then anybody else that needs one, we'll get it to them. According to our bylaws and the changes that we made the last time around, the members of this state executive committee is the platform committee. So what we have decided is Brittany is going to circulate a form. If you are a state executive committee member, please write your name on the form and 3 areas of this platform that you're interested in working on. There are 7 sections. List the top 3. We'll call the members that are not here. We will add them to the list, and then we'll kind of break it down and do our best to let you all work on those sections. What we've decided to do is we will set you up, once we get the committees in place, with a conference call phone number. So you will know everybody on your committee. You can have regional call, or you can have sectional calls to talk about the changes that you want to see on the platform. We're going to try to do that as quickly as possible. And then we're going to get together, the sooner the better, discuss the entire platform, and get it out in a reasonable time before our state convention so that the delegates will have the opportunity to look at it, absorb it, see what it's all about, write down some changes if they think they want to make some when we get to the state convention. But your input is extremely important. We did a lot of work to the platform in 2016. Some things may need tweaked, some things may be thrown out, something might be added. But it is your responsibility to pick, as committee members only, the three areas out of the 7 that interest you the most. Any questions on the platform? Yes, Ms. Deb. Oh, I'm sorry.
He was asking if I need the bylaws. I go, yes.
George, you need a bylaws. Any other questions as far as how the platform is going to work? 7 sections, pick your top 3, yes. Did you send it around?
Yeah, I started over here and there's this two.
I need yeah. George, put your name, what you're interested in.
With 3 on there, 1, 2, and 3. One of these.
You also have a copy of our most current bylaws, which will be updated with the changes that we made today. They will be sent out to you again, and then we have a bylaws committee headed up by Jenny Moles. Yes, ma'am?
Madam Chair, I just like to point out the bylaws when it comes to the congressional seats. Actually, I'm not sure that we really need to make that change if everybody will look at the bylaws. When it comes to the congressional district vice chair shall establish a line of communications for the state Democratic Executive Committee and each county executive committee in his or her district and endeavor to coordinate activities between the two.
What page you on?
I don't know that we need to change.
Are you on page 8?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Well,
I don't know.
I
think it has to be.
I think, find out where we're
It's
at.
probably in the annual meeting that we
Yeah, page 8.
That's the duties of the office.
Right, I'm trying to see how it reads.
Under the general, it says they shall elect a congressional.
So Jenny, under your, page 7, under general, page 7?
It says 3, yeah, page 7,
Yeah.
under general.
It says 3
Right.
congressional vice chairs
okay.
under
That's right.
officers.
That's a-
So we need to change that to 6, and we need to say 1 male, 1 female, okay? But that will be done after today's meeting. So, any other questions?
She was going to pass out something.
All right, we have one more order of business. Thank you all for being so patient. Now I'm gonna let y'all talk and tell me what y'all doing in your county. So, DNC has notified us that we need to appoint temporary chairs. This is temporary chairs from now until our state convention. Reason being, if something should happen between now and when we elect the permanent committee for the National Convention, they need somebody that can take off to Washington and sit in on this meeting and represent West Virginia. Not saying it's going to happen, but again, anything can happen in this world of politics. So I need a nomination for the appointment of a temporary standing committee for rules. Okay?
I would like to nominate Gail Ford from Kanawha County.
Pam has nominated Gail Poor from Kanawha County. Gail is the mother of Misha Poor, that you all know. Gail has been to several conventions. She's very familiar, and she would serve as a temporary only. Now, this isn't saying, if y'all wanna put them on there when we come around to our state convention, that can happen. But right now, this is temporary. Are there any other suggestions for a temporary chair of rules? Any other nominations? Do we have a second?
I was just gonna say, I'll second that.
You don't need seconds.
Oh, okay.
On any nomination.
Okay. So, no other nominations? All those in favor of Gail Poole signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you very much. The other temporary standing appointment is the Platform Committee. So we need a name for the Platform Committee.
If it's not a conflict of interest, I'd like to nominate Alex Orton because he's geographically quite close to DC.
That's a good reason. He's young. He's one of our young Democrats. He understands.
He does.
The platform. You're going to take a copy home. Well, it's
He's a member of a union. He's LGBT. He's young.
He's a member of a union.
Yes.
Sounds good.
Very active. Any other nominations for the temporary platform committee? Is there a second?
You don't need a
No, we
second.
don't need a second. We would like to have their names in minutes,
Okay.
but that's fine. All right, all those in favor of Alex Orton, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The last appointment, temporary standing, is for credentials. Credentials, is there a nomination?
I'd like to nominate Sophia Mills from Cabell County. She is the Executive Vice President of the West Virginia Young Democrats, and at our national convention last summer, she served as West Virginia's member of the YDA Credentials Committee.
Oh, great.
So
She's
she's
very
done,
qualified.
which is modeled on the DNC, so she's done substantially the same job before.
Terrific. I'll let you break the news story. Okay? Any other nominations for the credentials?
I don't have a nomination. Can you clarify what credentials does?
What credentials does is make sure that the delegates that are elected at each state's convention are Democrats, are in good standing, have been approved, and have a right to be at the nationals. That's pretty much, and that they follow the guidelines of the state, they follow the guidelines of the DNC. I don't know if you all were aware of Alabama and some issues that they had there. They were actually stripped of their credentials until they got their matters resolved. So it's an important role. You have to sometimes decide if the person that is holding a credential, if somebody's challenged them, that you've got to be the one to decide, okay, there's evidence not to seat them or to go ahead and seat them. So basically that's what credentials does. Credential is the thing that gets you into the floor of the national convention. Any other questions?
What was her last name?
Sophia Mills. All those in favor of Sophia Mills signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. So announcements. I know there's some chairs in here that are having some dinners, some Democratic women that are having some dinners. You just tell us all about what's going on in Wood County.
Okay, March 21st, we're having the Wood County Democratic Party dinner. It's going to be at the Nemesis Shriners Building, March 21st. Doors will open at 5:30. You can go on Act Blue and purchase your tickets. It's $40 a person or $320 for a table of 8. And we're limited to 240 seats, so if you want to get a chair, you need to get it done. It's going to be a really good dinner. Chef Yancey Roush is catering it again this time, so we're going to have all the candidates there. Hope to see you all come too.
You have tickets right now?
We're not doing tickets per se. We're just putting names on a master list. If you buy 2 Act Blue, you can print out a ticket if you want. But you pay by check. You just put your name on a master list and you just check in.
Okay. Wood County, Pam.
Did you put it on the party's calendar yet?
No, but I can.
There you go. Party calendar. Mercy.
March the 29th, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, we're having a pie social in Mason County. $5 at the door. All the desserts, pies you can eat.
Wow. Damn.
Hey, Mercy.
$5.
Mercy.
Mercy.
Did you put it on the party's calendar?
Told somebody to.
That's not a good answer.
You will check it out.
I
won't
didn't
you,
know.
Mercy?
We will.
You will check it out.
You know how this is gonna go,
Sonny.
right?
Sonny, be prepared.
Be prepared. No, it ain't on the calendar. First and foremost, but we're having a ribbon chicken dinner April 18th at St. Jude Hall in Glendale. Tickets are $25 a piece. I forget the name of the guy that's doing it.
Mason Dixon Barbecue.
Mason Dixon Barbecue in Milesville's doing it. So get a hold of Kathy or Marv and they'll fix you up.
And one thing they don't tell you out there, you gotta bring your own silverware and everything
And your
else.
own
Place settings
And your own BYOB.
And your beer.
I take care of people because I bring it up.
Oh, I learned my lesson the first time I went there.
We learn by doing.
Yes.
I guess the state fries north of the Mason Dixon line, and we know how to handle it.
I just got a raw piece of meat to go grill it.
Robbie.
Mercer County, we have a new headquarters at 1109 Mercer Street, which we've just opened. We just finished painting the floor blue. We have blue waves painted all the way around it. We are having our grand opening on March the 5th from 4 to 6. We're going to have hors d'oeuvres. We're going to have music. We're going to have welcome anybody to come and see our new Democratic headquarters and event center. We also, on the 6th, the following day, are going to have an open house because that is downtown Princeton, which is a day that all the merchants in Princeton on Mercer Street are open late into the evening. So we're going to be doing that from 3 to 9. So anybody who is in the area or would like to travel to the area, please come and see our new event center and headquarters. Also, if you would like to donate to help Mercer County, because we got this early because we know how important it is that we are going to try and do something for our candidates. Because, you know, as an executive committee, we have to offer them something. And so this is what we are doing, is having this where they can have any kind of meeting that they want, where they can bring in their materials and they will be passed out. We are also going to be having second Mondays is our tentative day that we're going to have a dinner every month between now and November, so that we are hoping that our Democrats in Mercer County and surrounding counties will come, and you'll be in a blue environment with blue waves. You will be able to discuss things with people who have the same principles that you have and support one another, instead of waiting until, you know, right before the election and say, oh no, we've got to help somebody do something. So we're trying really hard in Mercer. So if you would like to donate to this, we have an Act Blue. We have several people who have pledged monthly to this. So we have several months of our rent is taken care of through these pledges, but we still, the more money we have, the more we can help our candidates. And we would love to see y'all second Mondays. You know, one time it's going to be hot dogs, one time it's going to be tacos. We don't know what we're going to feed you, but you're not going to be there really for the food. You're going to be there for the fellowship and the like-mindedness of the getting behind the blue candidates.
Hey, Robbie,
All right.
what's that date for the open house?
The open house is on Friday the 6th, and the grand opening, March. Yes, March the 6th. And the grand opening is March the 5th, the day before.
Have you put all that on the calendar?
We have not put that on the calendar,
But you
but
get mine?
she might have it on there in 8 minutes. You never know with this girl. Deb McCarthy, everybody. I don't know if anybody knows Deb McCarthy. Yes.
What time is the open house?
The open house is from 3 to 9.
Listen up.
I'm a chair from Fayette, and I have some good news for all Democrats. Monroe County, that did not really have a particularly active Democratic executive committee, have been working very hard to reform, and I attended 2 meetings they've had in the past month and a half. This past Tuesday, they had 45 people at a reorganization meeting. Dawn Evans is acting as their executive chair, and I would, the most uplifting thing at the meeting was 8 people were in the room, said they were Republicans that had voted for Trump, and they were sick of him. And I love to hear that. But the second thing is, they're going to have a big pie social, and they don't have a date yet, but any of you that want to reach out to a fellow Dem, an executive chair, he is the clerk in Monroe County, and Dawn Evans, some of you already know, he's working really hard, and I was really enthused that they're making some good headway down there.
Did you have one of those already?
I'm not on the, and it's going that way. I'm not on the.
Jackson County's having their Meet the Candidate at Parchment Valley Baptist Convention Center on the 19th of April at 2 o'clock. $25 to attend, and we'll get as many candidates there as we can. You know, they're busy, but all of them will be invited. And the food's always good.
It is.
What time is it?
Pam?
It's at 2 o'clock at,
2 to 5.
Pam has a question.
I already know because one of the
Think so, because I just looked at the calendar the other day.
One of the McConaughey's in charge of that. I don't
Can you
know.
tell her?
Anybody else? And the reason that we want to make these announcements is because we want you all, if you're near, to go to the events.
Can everyone hear me?
Yep.
All right, so the college Democrats at West Virginia University, they're actually having the first annual Rhododendron Dinner.
Rhododendron?
Yes. It is going to be April 24th at 6 p.m. in the the Student Center there on WVU's campus. And they already have some guest speakers lined up. They're going to have all of the Democratic candidates for U.S. Senate, as well as all the Democrats running for governor. Natalie Klein, who is a congressional candidate, as well as delegates Danielle Walker, Evan Hansen, and John Williams. And the cost for that event is $20. And again, that's going to be April 24th at 6 p.m. on WVU's campus.
Did you get on film?
Lane?
Many of you were kind enough to come to Jefferson County last year for our bird dinner. Thank you, committee, for coming. We have announced the date for this coming year. It will be April 17th. It is not on the calendar, Pam, but as I'm driving home in the car, I'm going to furiously text that because we just confirmed the time. 6 o'clock, dinner 6:45, tickets $50. I have them with me. If you feel generous, $500. You get a table up front, 8 tickets. We would love to see everyone. We are hoping to get a somewhat now prominent congressperson who may have been on the impeachment trial to come to speak with us. So more to come on that. Thank you.
Wonderful. Terry?
The Wetzel County Democratic Executive Committee, we've got like 3 events lined up. Actually, this Saturday, the 29th, we have a soup bean dinner from noon to 3 o'clock at the Senior Citizen Center in Wetzel County. On April the 25th, we have a pie social at the Mullihan Center. And these are all meet and greets. And then on June 20th, we will have our blue and gold steak fry. And yes, you, Kurt, you have to bring your own silverware.
You see that? That's important. I do. I got paper plates.
And the steak fry is BYOB, you know, so come on up to Wetzel County. We're going to, we've made contact with quite a few of the candidates running, and we hope to have them there. So if you have any questions, you can get a hold of me, you can get a hold of Kim with the women in Wetzel County, and we'd love for everybody to come see us.
It's on the calendar.
Perfect. Thank you, everyone. Joyce, again, I apologize. I want everybody to know that their views are always welcome. Everybody's welcome to attend our meetings, and everybody's important.
One quick comment. I heard the financial report earlier. They said it's okay, but it's not okay.
Well,
if you're not a member of JFK, y'all should be. And you know, you don't want to come up with $1,000, I understand it, but it's only $83.33 a month. Charge on your credit card. That's the best way. That's why I do it. It just keeps renewing itself. But we all should be members of that. We talk a lot. We need to help finance it too.
thank you, Tom. And in addition to that, Harvey Payton sent me an email that said he was going on vacation for a week, but when he got back, he would like to help on a fundraising committee, so anybody that would like to join him and help do that, please let me know and I'll pass it along. Jenny?
I was just like to say, you're right, Tom, we need to do that. With everything else going on in this country, I have to say that I sure am glad that I'm in West Virginia and not in Iowa.
I can confirm it's terrible.
Yes, Robbie?
We went from new business to announcements so quick. Can we have business anymore? Because I'm curious about some of the things with our selection plan.
We went over that earlier in the thing.
I know, but
what's your biggest
well,
worry?
has the DNC indicated that what is their problem with us? Are we?
They don't have a problem with us. The DNC has indicated that, and I will tell you and reassure you, we will be in compliance and we will be seated at the National Convention. That's going to happen. I am not going to do anything to hurt this Democratic Party as long as I'm in charge.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the problem is they're overworked. Part of the problem is the rules and bylaws only meets at certain times. We were, before the Rules and Bylaws Committee, we were within conditional compliance. There were some things that we needed to work on to clean our plan up. As we said earlier, it's very difficult because there was a section about alternates. Because we didn't change one word, it affected 6 lines, 7 lines in our delegate selection plan.
Well, how many times?
Those will be corrected.
How many times have we had to resubmit so far?
We have submitted it 3, 4, but what happens is the first 2 times we sent it over, they sent it back, they told us to change 3 dates and one other section. We sent it in, they sent it back and told us to change it back to what we had the first time we sent it in. Again, they're overworked. This is something they only do every 4 years, and because of the Unity Commission, they added some additional languages that some of the states didn't pick up on. I guarantee you we will be in compliance. Now, the other problem is, the last time that we sent it, we got back a letter the other day dated January 7th, and we got it February, whatever. We have made numerous calls to the rules and bylaws. We have friends over there that are looking out for us, and I am not the least bit worried that we will come within compliance. Any other concerns?
Well, you know, I know that some people. How many people in here have read the thing from Selina Vickers that we got in an email yesterday? Because I know that, you know, a lot of you have not, and so, but you know, she really is trying to help us. She's working awfully hard to try and help us, and I'd like to make a motion that that we use that resource, because this is somebody who really has studied this. I mean, her letter is very informed, and she. I would like to make a motion that we use Selina Vickers to help us with this.
Is there a second to that?
I second.
Discussion? Let me tell you what, Robbie, there is nobody that is better with bylaws than Patrice Taylor. Patrice is working with our plan. The last thing I want to do is slow it down any more than it already is. As I said, we are in constant contact with them. We have friends that are on those committees. I've talked to the rules and bylaws. The last thing I want to do is slow it down anymore. We have a motion on the floor.
Who is Patrice?
Patrice Taylor is the, for lack of better, she's party affairs. She's like the executive director. She talks to the rules and bylaws folks.
I mean, she's with the DNC?
She's with the DNC.
Okay, that's what
she has been more than fair. She has contacted us when there's an issue. We have an open line of communication with her. We have an open line of communication with Maureen Gard, Ken Martin, who's with the ASDC. And there is not that much other than a little bit of language that needs cleaned up, and will happen probably this week. Go ahead, Karen.
So for discussion purposes, although I respect your moving and seconding, I'm not sure that it's necessary to be asking another individual to get on board at this time,
right,
when we're so close to being approved. So I would like to object to the motion, only because I think if we were going to do something, we would have done that a lot earlier.
Sure.
If in fact we needed the assistance, and I'm not sure we did, and I'm a little, I did read it. I I read the whole thing.
I know.
It's a very long thing and very complicated, and you're right.
Yes.
This is a smart woman.
And she has been following this. It's not like she's just suddenly saying, I think I could help. She's been really following this since over the last year, if you recall.
She has a strange way of doing it in that the night before our meeting, she's bringing it to our attention. Why didn't she bring it to our attention months ago? You see, I just think that we're too close to, I mean, I agree with you, but I think we're too close to getting it done. Let's get it done.
I'm sorry, I had my hand up. Howard next. And I would just like to say, I appreciate all the work she did. I don't appreciate it receiving it at 7 p.m. the night before. No, I really didn't have a chance with a mother I'm taking care of and then getting on the road and coming this morning. I really didn't have a chance to read it. And I just feel like if she really wanted to help, maybe I would have gotten it a week ago or at least 2 days ago, that I would have had a chance. I don't have any information other than it turns into like, this is what I found, but this is what it is. I've not been able to do any research myself and get any answers, and that's why that was the only thing that I just didn't appreciate about it. Was I just feel like she pointed a finger to the committee saying we're not doing what we're supposed to, when I really did it. I don't have any resources at the time within less than 24 hours was the only thing. But yeah, it was, I mean, in depth and detailed for sure.
I read the letter. It was long and it was complicated, and I was more confused after I got through reading it than I was when I started. So.
Well, a lot of those things have already been.
Yeah, well, it went over my head. Let's put it that way.
So I want to just kind of note for the record here that Selina actually did come to us with this a while ago. As somebody who attended the March 30th meeting along with Selina, if you remember, and that was the Shepherdstown meeting, she presented a packet of information about issues with the first draft of the delegate selection plan. And I'd like to note that most of those changes that she had recommended have since been adopted in the revisions. So yeah, for this particular instance, obviously getting it the night before is not the most helpful, but she has been sounding the alarm on this for a year. And I think now that we're seeing a plan that's not yet approved, I think that in some ways she was a canary in the coal mine, and I give her credit for that.
But a lot of the reason that it has been approved is not totally on our backs. Some of it is on their backs. But at this time, anybody in favor of Robbie's motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. Motion failed.
Good to be among friends.
Anything else? Yes, ma'am.
So I wanted to go back to the platform and specifically the preamble. I guess that wasn't one of the categories to choose.
Yeah, you were on the platform.
I was. I redid the preamble, but I was intending to make it gender neutral. And I think I sent you one copy, and then I corrected it and emailed it to you. But apparently it didn't get the correct copy. But I wanted to make some changes to that. So when would the time be to do that? Can we do that now? Okay.
No, well, I mean, not
right now.
This meeting.
Oh, okay.
But that is your job for the platform committee.
Okay.
To allow you to do that for us.
Very good.
And what happened was, what was the gentleman's name that was kind enough to redo this? And, everything was a little bit crazy at that
There were
time.
2 people from Mercer County. One was, starts with Y. Charles and Annetta.
Richford and Annette Richford.
Yes.
What was Charles' name?
Richford.
Okay, yeah.
They're
He
married.
was kind enough to type that because it got a little confusing for us. So that may not have got to him, but you figured that out.
Yes, they were fantastic.
All right, now
I move we adjourn.
we are adjourned. Now, any